The moon does not dictate the 7 day Sabbath. You understand? The moon, listen clearly, the moon does not dictate the 7 day Sabbath. Okay? All right? It doesn't dictate it. For those of you all out there that you confused, it does not dictate it. Okay?
Shalom. Giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who teach and rule well in all truth and sincerity. Shalom, peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, the house of David, starting with the 144,000, followed by the 1/3 remnant. Shalom. All right, so you heard this guy, Deacon Malachi, all right, or whatever his title is, all right, of IUIC. He made a completely off statement, a false statement, saying that, you know, the new moon does not dictate the Sabbath. All right. Matter of fact, let's play it again real quick. So yeah, man, which is completely false, man.
Okay, and
the moon does dictate the Sabbath.
7 day Sabbath.
All right.
You understand?
The moon dictates the Sabbath. The Sabbath is what the Sabbath. The Sabbath meaning seven. Okay. All right. When the seventh day from what? All right. If the moon does not dictate the Sabbath, then how do you determine whether it's the seventh day or not? The seventh day from what? All right. How do you count? What do you use to count days and seasons and years? The moon. Count months. The moon. So these guys are completely off, man. All right. But see, that's why they keep the Sabbath wrong. They keep it, Friday sundown to Saturday sundown. So they're completely off, man. What determines the Sabbath? The Sabbath. All right. If not the moon. It's the seventh day, right? Okay. How do you count this? How do you count the 6 days and then get to the Sabbath? All right. How do you know it's the seventh day if you're not going according to the moon? All right. So these guys are completely off. Completely off, man. The moon does not dictate the Sabbath. So what does? How do you keep track of the days? All right. How do you keep track of the days, man? By the moon. All right. But see, these guys are taking the bad. Now, I don't know if they're just, sincerely wrong, but I think it's the bag, man. All right. Because this is a 501c3 group. So, they got to teach what, they're under that gag order. All right. They got to teach what the white man tell them to teach. All right. They're just Christians with an Israelite twist. All right. But the Sabbath is determined by the new moon. The Sabbath is determined by the moon. The moon determines the Sabbath. That's why in the scriptures they're mentioned interchangeably. They're mentioned together, man. All right, because you have the new moon, which is a Sabbath. Then you count 6 days from the new moon, and the seventh evening, all right, the seventh day at sundown from the new moon is the Sabbath. Is the Sabbath, and that's how you count it. All right, but here it is. The moon determines the season, the times, the days, the month, but it doesn't determine the Sabbath. So what determines the Sabbath? What dictates the Sabbath, man? Let's go to Genesis, the first chapter. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 1. Verse, matter of fact, I'm seeing my blue letter. Come on. Yeah. This is Genesis chapter 1. And 14. Genesis 1 and 14. And the heavenly Father said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. So this is the sun and moon. But what? We use a lunar calendar, meaning what? The moon. All right. The Hebrew calendar is always, our heritage, the Lord, told Moses you to tell time by the moon, to count days by the moons, weeks, months, the seasons, the years. All right. We use a lunar calendar. That's our history. That's our heritage. That's our culture. A lunar calendar meaning what? By the moon. All right. So that's how you count. That's how you keep track of time, man. All right. But see, these guys are completely off, man. All right. Now they went into Sirach 43, but they have no understanding of the of that chapter, man. What's it really saying? So let's bring it up here. And let me go back. Because they off in this, man. In their moon phases, they're off, man. And I'll come back to this, but let me get this in Ecclesiasticus or Sirach, chapter 43 first. This is Ecclesiasticus or Sirach, chapter 43, I'll start at verse 6. Ecclesiasticus chapter 43, verse 6. He made the moon also to serve in her season for a declaration of times and a sign of the world. So time is declared by the moon. The days, the months, the years, the seasons, man. It's declared by the moon. As it's the Sabbath. It's declared by the moon. Verse 7. From the moon is the sign of feast, a light that decreases in her perfection. And they have no understanding on this verse. Verse 7. Ecclesiasticus 43 and 7. They have no understanding. And how do we know that? Because they got it wrong here, man. All right. You see they got the new moon. It's the full moon. Which is completely off, man. How can something be full but new? That makes no sense. If it's new, it cannot be full. If it's full, it cannot be new. When a baby is born, it's a what? It's a newborn. All right. It comes out tiny, man. All right. It doesn't, a baby doesn't come out full grown. It's a newborn. So it grows. All right. The moon decreases in her perfection, man. Because the new moon, all right, is not a full moon. The new moon is when you see that little slither, man. All right, that's the new moon. When you see that little slither of light. When you look at the moon and you see that little slither of light, that's the new moon, man. All right. A full moon cannot be a new moon, man. When something is full, it's not new. It can't be new if it's full. How can something be new? How can something start out full? Like I said, when a child is born, it doesn't come out full grown. It has to grow. All right, and that's the same thing with the moon, man. That's with anything, man. If it's full, it can't be new. When something is new, it's basically empty, man. All right. So these guys are completely off, man. All right, the new moon is not the full moon. Let's get that. Let's go there. Psalms to prove that. This is Psalms chapter 81. This is Psalms 81 and 3. Blow the trumpet in the new moon in the time appointed on our solemn feast day. So the new moon is not the full moon. Here go my blue letter. Come on now. Psalms 81. Let's get it in the NLT. Psalms 81 and 3. Blow the ram's horn at new moon and again at full moon to call a festival. So the new moon is not a full moon. The full moon is not the new moon, man. All right. So they're two different things, man. The new moon and the full moon is not the same thing. So these guys are completely off in this, man. Because in that same video, he said that, the new moon is the full moon. All right, which is completely off, man, which is wrong. All right. Again, Psalms 81 and 3 in the NLT. Blow the ram's horn at new moon and again at the full moon. So they're two different things, man. All right, matter of fact, let's see what it says. See if my good news. Let's see the good news version. Old Testament. Psalms 81 and 3. I wish I could highlight it. Psalms 81 and 3 in the Good News translation, in the Good News Bible. Psalms 81 and 3. Blow the trumpet for the festival. Blow the trumpet for the festival when the moon is new and when the moon is full. So what the hell are these guys talking about, man? How is the new moon the full moon, man? All right. So these guys are completely off, man. No understanding. Let's go back to Sirach 43. Let's go back to Sirach 43. All right, because these guys, IUIC has no understanding, man. So when it's something is new, it cannot be full. It has to grow to a period where it becomes full. All right. Ecclesiasticus 43 and 7. From the moon is a sign of feast, a light that decreases in her perfection. Yeah, man. All right, it decreases. All right, you have the full moon, and then it decreases back, working its way to a new moon. So it decreases. All right, to get to a full moon, to get to it decreases from a full moon to get to a new moon. All right. That's what the moon phases are about. That's how you know when a new month comes in, man. All right. It's about to say it here. Sirach 43 and 8. The month is called after her name, increasing wonderfully in her changing, being an instrument of the armies above, shining in the firmament of heaven. Yeah, so the month is determined by the moon. All right. Days are determined by the moon, seasons, years. All right, here it is. All these a time is determined by the moon, but the Sabbath isn't. So these guys are completely off, man. All right, again, you have the new moon, which is a Sabbath. Then you count 6 days from the new moon. All right, and that seventh day at sundown, all right, is the next Sabbath, and that's how you have the Sabbath for the rest of the months following the first new moon of the month. That's how you keep track of it, man. All right. That's why the new moon and the Sabbath is mentioned hand in hand in the scriptures, man. Let's see. For instance, what's one? Ezekiel 46, I think. Ezekiel 46, for instance, man. That's why they're mentioned hand in hand. All right. Ezekiel chapter 46. Verse I'll start at the top. Ezekiel 46 and 1. Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. The gate of the inner court that looketh toward the east shall be shut the 6 working days, but on the Sabbath it shall be opened. And in the day of the new moon it shall be open. Yeah, so the new moon is the Sabbath. And the new moon determines the Sabbath. You have the new moon, which is a Sabbath, all right, and then you count 6 days, and that seventh at sundown. Again, Sabbath means 7, all right. That's the next Sabbath, all right. 6 days after the new moon comes in, that 7th is the Sabbath, all right. That's how you count it. That's how you keep track of it, man. That's why here in Ezekiel it's mentioning the new moon and the Sabbath together, man, as it does in a lot of other scriptures, man. All right. Verse 2, Ezekiel 46 and 2. And the prince shall enter by the way of the porch of that gate without, and shall stand by the post of the gate, and the priest shall prepare his burnt offering and his peace offerings, and he shall worship at the threshold of the gate. Then he shall go forth, but the gate shall not be shut until the evening. Likewise, the people of the land shall worship at the door of this gate before the Lord in the Sabbaths and in the new moons. So yeah, man. Because the new moon determines the Sabbath. A new moon comes in, that's a Sabbath. You count 6 days, and the seventh at sundown is the next Sabbath. All right, and those are the rest of the Sabbaths of that month until the next new moon comes in, man. And you do the same thing over again. So the moon determines the Sabbath, specifically the new moon, which is not a full moon. It's that little slither of light, man. All right, that little crescent. Not this bullshit here, man. New moon, full moon. That's completely off, man. Nothing can be new and full at the same time, man. How can something be full but new? How can something be new and already full? How can something start out full? That's why a day in Genesis, the first chapter, it tells you a new day starts at sundown. When the moon comes, man. But see, he's all turned everything upside down. A new day doesn't start in the morning. All right, at sunrise, a new day starts at sundown. All right, and that's how the moon is, man. All right, nothing can start out full. All right, that's common sense. You got to fill something up when something is new or empty. You got to fill it up. Say you got a glass of water, all right, and you pour a new glass, that's a full glass. All right, but when it's empty, you have to pour a new glass. You got to pour a new glass of water when it's empty. That's common sense, man. So I don't know what the hell these guys are talking about.
Enough our months. That's what we do. Okay, and the moon does not dictate the 7-day Sabbath. You understand?
See, no, y'all
The moon,
confused.
listen clearly.
Which y'all don't believe
The
y'all confused. I
moon
think y'all
does
teaching it
not
wrong
dictate
willfully,
the
because y'all done took that
7-day
bag.
Sabbath.
Y'all took that
Okay.
person. Y'all are compromised.
All right.
All right.
It doesn't dictate.
So I don't even think
Those of
y'all
you all out
confused.
there
Y'all
that,
just false
you confused.
prophets,
It
man.
does not dictate it. Okay.
All right, that's
Okay,
what I
but
think.
let me see.
So this crap here, new moon is the full moon. No, it's not, man. All right, no, it's not. Let's get some more scriptures showing you that the moon determines the Sabbath. That's why they're mentioned together, man. All right, let's see. New moon. 1 Samuel. Let's see. I get it here in Ezra. This is Ezra chapter 3. Matter of fact, I want to get one where it mentions a new moon and a Sabbath together. I got it in. I knew that one in Ezekiel. I'm gonna see if it's some more. All right. Yep, Nehemiah. Nehemiah chapter 10, verse 33. Nehemiah 10 and 33. For the shewbread and for the continual meat offering and for the continual burnt offering of the Sabbath of the new moons for the set feast. And that's what it said in Sirach 43, man. All right. It's a sign of feast, man. The moon. All right. It's saying the same thing here in Nehemiah the 10th chapter. Nehemiah 10 and 33. for the shewbread, and for the continual meat offering, and for the continual burnt offering of the Sabbaths, of the new moons, for the set feasts, and for the holy things, and for the sin offerings, to make an atonement for Israel, and for all the work of the house of our power. So yeah, man, that's why the new moon and the Sabbath is mentioned together, man. The new moon determines the Sabbath. The moon dictates the Sabbath. So don't listen to these guys, man. They're compromised. They're teaching for filthy lucre. IUIC starting with their leadership, man. They're compromised. That filthy lucre, man. They took the bag. They took that purse. So they gotta teach you false things, man. All right. They're false prophets. All right. So the moon determines the Sabbath. The moon dictates the Sabbath. Simple, man. Simple. So I just wanted to go into that briefly, man, because these guys are off, man. Following these guys are going to lead you to your destruction. They're not teaching you truth. They're not giving you true wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, man. Because they're compromised, teaching for filthy lucre. All right, so don't follow these guys, man. The moon dictates the Sabbath and the feast days and all the holy days, man. All right. So these guys are completely off, man. So don't listen to them. I pray that this was edifying to the elect through the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua B'Shem Kakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who teach and rule well in all truth and sincerity. Shalom, peace and blessing to the hopeful elect, the house of David, starting with the 144,000, followed by the 1/3 remnant. Or Baba Ball. Shalom.